difficult. I'm about to leave for New York Film Festival later this week, so I'm
Ooh,
cramming in as much as I can. I have another recording in a few hours after this, and then another one tomorrow, and we just did one yesterday, so
wow.
got a lot going on. But
Cool.
yeah,
What are like the opening and closing films of New York this year?
so it's the opening is After the Hunt.
Hmm.
The centerpiece is Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, and I'm not staying through to the end. I'm leaving a bit early, but the closing is This Thing On? And
Oh, yeah.
the pass that I got for it has that, and so my sister's just going to use that because she lives there, so she'll go see
Nice.
that. But yeah, I
Nice.
mean, I'm seeing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I'm very excited about.
I can't believe you didn't want to stay for the fucking Will Arnett movie directed by Bradley Cooper.
I mean, there are some that are playing after I leave that I am sad about missing, but that one I'm not like. It's not the biggest deal in the world that I don't get to see it
No
yet.
one's seen that yet, right? That's
Yeah,
like,
that's the world premiere.
yeah. Did you know that that's based on a British comedian? Like, it's even more
Yeah,
baffling that it's based when you know him. I don't know if you know of John Bishop, but as like a British
nothing
comedian, he's just
beyond
like,
what I've seen. Just like talking about this movie.
no, he was a Doctor Who companion for one season.
That's
Oh,
cool.
which
Yeah,
season? Like earlier or newer?
like newer, like Jodie Whittaker's last
Oh,
season.
Oh, oh wow, like
Jesus.
very recent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
really bizarre. But yeah, I'm ready to go whenever. I've seen Ghostwatch in the last few hours, so
I
it's
mean, we're
fresh.
probably already in the podcast by now.
Oh,
I don't
are
know.
we?
I don't know where you would cut that one, Analyzer. There was not really a hook. Hi, everybody.
Who
It's
cares?
televised the TV movie story. We're talking about Ghostwatch. Uh, Ghostwatch. Yeah,
Ghostwatch.
Ghostwatch.
We're
Ghostwatch.
watching ghosts, baby.
Are we though? We might be. We might be watching ghosts. We might be watching real ghosts.
Or
We might be
these might
watching
just
fake
be
ghosts.
insane hack frauds.
They could be, or it could be a fictional program, which it may or may not be. Who knows? Uh, we have another guest. We have, because we're doing all guests this month of October. We're not recording this in October, so we're not quite in spooky season vibes yet. But this is kicking off our October block with Ghostwatch, and we have Will Steele for the third time.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me back for spooky season. We're recording this on the first day of fall, right? Autumn.
Right?
Yes.
So we're slipping in. We're getting there. But yeah, thank you. I mean, this is quite a big one to cover, so I'm quite honored to be honest.
Yeah, this was one that you had mentioned wanting to do when we were first starting out the show, and I was telling you like, hey, pick out whatever you want to do, and this is one of the ones you mentioned. So, what's your why this one? What's your history here with Ghostwatch?
Okay, so I think I'd heard of Ghostwatch as a bit of a legend, maybe not growing up, but maybe getting more onto like internet culture and onto the internet. And it kind of sits in this weird space, as I guess your podcast covers, of like it's not quite a movie, but it's so much more innovative than just a TV episode. So, and it was quite a phenomenon at the time when it broadcast in 1992. So I think I found it a few years ago, and you almost can't really get how important it was from rewatching it now. But I thought it was so fascinating and such an interesting thing to talk about, the kind of phenomenon around it, that I wanted to chat about it. And also, I feel like I always pick a British kind of themed thing because I love talking about my perceptions and then your perceptions of weird British culture from the outside. So that's why I chose Ghostwatch.
Hmm. Yeah, this one really has taken on a cult life of its own. Oh, like the fact that I can even own this thing on Blu-ray is kind of insane.
Yeah, yeah. This is. I mean, there's a whole making of documentary. There's a blog like detailing all the behind the scenes things and all the little details and trivia of it. Like this is a big one. This is very. There's a reason we're doing this one at the beginning of the month. We're starting things off with a big one, and I hadn't seen this before. It sounds like both of you had,
Yes.
but I knew of it. I knew the like context. I knew the basic premise of it, but I mean, going into it, even knowing all that, it still sort of surpassed my expectations. It
Mm.
really does hold up as being what it is. And even watching it now, knowing that it's all fictional and that it's a fictional broadcast and it's acted and it's written and none of this is real, as sort of the cult around it has uh, uh, I don't know how it was sort of initially perceived by a lot of audience members.
Hmm.
It still works. It doesn't rely on that like sort of gimmick, if you want to call it that, for it to be an effective piece of horror. I think it really works for what it is. Uh, yeah, it's great. It really got me. Really effectively spooked me on this first watch. I have to say, just to start out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you think we would have, or each of us would have believed it when it came out? Or do you think we're too cynical?
I don't know if I would have personally, but it would be fun. It would be fun to like to buy into it, to let yourself buy into it, to be like, is at a certain point it gets to be so I don't know, the like the very end when the TV station is sort of in a whirlwind. That's where I get a little bit skeptical, like really, but like it takes a good while to for anything to really start happening. So it would be I totally understand why people would very slowly ease into the horror of it all because it's presented for like the first 75 minutes or so
Mhm.
without really showing anything other than your little flashes of the ghost in the background here and there,
Mhm.
which I caught some. I did not catch all of them. I found some screen caps after the fact, and there's a good handful that I totally missed. But there's a few that I was like, hey, there he is. He's there. He's there in the background. You missed it. Um, so I don't know. Maybe I would have.
What about you, Eliza?
Uh, I probably would not have ever like once things start getting like a little too real or it's I'm a pretty big skeptic on ghost stuff, so it's just like, oh, okay. But even then, it's like I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I think. But I like Gordon is saying, it does get a bit much at times, and so it's just like near the end at least, and so it's like that alone probably would be a bit of a cue that it's like, oh yeah, this is all a big thing, but it's like it is a really good just like prank on the audience, or like it's not even a prank, but it's like to pull the wool over their eyes.
No, I think you could frame it as a prank. I mean, and also I think the thing that's so pioneering about it is it came out before a lot of those kind of, I suppose it maybe inspired a lot of these similar kind of pranks. Obviously, or whatever you want to call hoax or mockumentary, because you have things like the Orson Welles War of the Worlds that came out in the 30s. But that was radio. Obviously, some people believe that. I think there might have been some other instances of it, but I think because it's on the BBC and because it's Michael Parkinson, who never did like fiction, he was just a TV presenter. I mean, probably one of the most famous chat show hosts we've ever had as a country, if
Mhm.
not the most famous. I think that's what's so jarring. And I think if I was watching it, I might not believe it fully, but I would be truly unnerved. And if I had kids, that I think they obviously kids saw this, probably shouldn't have seen it. And you, as a kid, you would just think this is real.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
so either being a kid or like having to calm kids down that are seeing it, that's almost as horrifying as the actual just horror in it. It's just the doubt and the fear it could spread to less suspecting people, which I think it did at the time.
yeah. I would certainly be unnerved watching this live on Halloween, like looking around my house of like, is something going to happen? Is the ghost here now too? Because of all the, all the call-ins from the people that like the ghost has traveled through the TV and now it's in your house too.
It's like
Uh,
I keep checking my watch to make sure that it's to see if it's stopped yet.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
at the very least be on edge, if not fully. Like I don't know. It's effective. It works at that sort of thing. Let me do the rundown. By the way, I have not. We've just sort of gotten right into it. Talking about Ghostwatch from 1992, directed by Leslie Manning, written by Stephen Volk, starring Michael Parkinson, Sarah Greene, Mike Smith, Craig Charles, Gillian Bevan, I don't know, Keith Ferrari, other people. I imagine there's a lot of people in this movie. I don't know who any of those people are other than Michael Parkinson. Like who they are in the cast. So
Like
uh
the first few are just like the people who are playing themselves, the regular
yes, yeah,
broadcasters who are in this episode.
yeah. But I don't know if that Wikipedia cast listing includes like the family. It probably doesn't actually.
It
Let me
does like I got on Letterboxd. Like Britt Brennan is the mom, Michelle Weston and Charisse Weston are the two kids.
right.
Yeah.
Uh
I was
yes.
surprised that Chris Miller was like a real name of the person. Like I know that's like I have reasons to know that name for other things, but also I would have thought that they would get an actor for that guy.
Is he one of the other presenters?
Chris Miller is the cameraman, and they like introduce him earlier on, like when he's like testing out like the thermal imaging and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's just
Well,
like,
Craig Charles is a real guy. I'm guessing some of them are real presenters. Like Craig Charles is he's an actor. He's on Red Dwarf. He was on Coronation Street, and he's a DJ. So I think maybe
right.
peppering in those real people is adding to the, shall we say, verisimilitude? Is that the word? The kind of like reality.
Yeah, yeah,
sure,
that's yeah.
I don't know words.
No, that tracks. Yeah, I mean beyond just Parkinson, but I mean everyone here is really convincing. Everyone does a really good job of for the first hour and some playing just the normalcy of it, just playing it like it's your everyday, like, oh, we're doing a little bit of a Halloween fun like special presentation. Uh but then once things get real, like I don't know, it all feels of a piece with the reality of what's going on here. That really does, like, even to the end where it becomes especially obvious that it's fictional with the studio going into chaos and everything. Like, it doesn't feel on the actor's part like it's getting to be too much, or like it's like they're overplaying it, or playing too much into the horror of it all. Like, it feels like real people still acting or reacting in the moment. So I mean, the cast all around great stuff. The kid actors, like, really tough stuff to have to do, but they really nailed that as well.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely. Especially Suzanne. Like she was fantastic.
Yeah, it kind of hinges on them. I think whenever I see horror with children involved, it always gets into a weird territory where it's like, how scared were the children acting in this?
Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
know. I can't. I mean, they do a really good job with the scared acting. But I would at least like to think that they were tended to well over the
Yeah.
production, despite it all. But
Let's remember, like most of the time, they're just fucking playing games with Sarah. It's just
yeah,
like they're just chilling out, having a good time.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it's not scarring. I think there's like that kind of perception around children and horror. Maybe this is just my own perception from Linda Blair in The Exorcist, because that's so unsettling. And then maybe that had an impact on her, also the press around it would suggest. So yeah, it's always like it's kind of like it adds an element of sinisterness, I think, whenever kids are involved, because you're like, oh, do they know how creepy they're being? And are they scared of themselves? But probably not. And they probably can't. I guess this was on at like 10 p.m. at night, I think. So after the watershed. I don't know if you have the watershed in the
no,
States.
No,
no.
don't know what
In
But
that means.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it's called that, to be honest. It's basically after 9 p.m. at night, you can swear on TV. So anytime, and that's after the watershed. So the watershed is like 9 p.m., I guess.
Oh, that's what that's called. Okay, I knew about that policy, but yeah, that's not something that is a thing. Well, actually,
there's there's something similar,
there's like
but
late night programming and stuff, but it's like
yeah,
it's not meant to be like a change of rules, I guess.
yeah. I don't really know how that works. I don't know how prime time versus late night and what the differences are there, but um, yeah. I mean, and also not just on a production level, but also kids in horror is a trope for a reason, because it's like it's like the easiest way to really make the peril feel especially perilous, because, like, who better to be at the center of your horror than children who you especially want to protect. Like that's the whole sort of thing of it. Is why going back, to our oldest horror stories, they're about children.
Mhm.
And also on the other end of it, creepy children. We love good horrors where the children are the villains. Um, I don't really have a full thesis there. I don't know. I'm
But
finding that this is not the easiest movie to talk about in this setting on account of the whole thing of it. This is not really one that we can really
and
get in on in the same way that we would talk about like plot and character.
I mean, we're already like 20 minutes in, and it's like we're still having a good time just talking about the whole meta of it, just like the whole, like
Yeah.
making this thing. It's like it is just cool, but also on like children horror. I do. I always had the perception that it's like children love being in horror movies. It's because it's like I just kind of think about the stories about like. Um, I don't know their names, but like the kids who play like Danny and the twins in The Shining, it's like Kubrick like hid them from a lot of like the darker elements of the story, so they were just having a grand old time. And then also the sequel to The Shining, I guess, Jacob Tremblay and Doctor Sleep, he was having a blast, like doing his like big like death scene and stuff. It's just like I feel like at least certain kid actors at the very least like will have a great time being in horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what these two kids are up to now.
Yeah.
I'm,
I mean,
I'm
they'll
still
be
watching those
40.
ghosts, I bet.
Yeah, that cult, the Ghostwatch cult, will be probably know exactly where they are. And it's interesting that this has such a cult following, considering it's one thing, it's one TV movie. I don't know if you covered many other TV movies that have like as big a cult following.
No, this is
Not
definitely
that come
one of
to
the
mind. No,
biggest.
yeah.
Like it's outside of like Cheetah Girls 2. It's like we
Naturally,
haven't done
but
too much that's actually like well known.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else we've done has a whole documentary about the making of, or all these blogs and all these followings and these like events. I mean, this has never been broadcast again on BBC, but like other like home releases. I don't know how many movies we've done have home releases, even like at least not to this
Well,
degree
not
of like
well, actually.
Queer
It's like
Duck.
there's a few things. It's
some of them, but like
like we
not
have.
on Blu-ray, not recent Blu-ray
Oh
releases.
yeah. Like I feel like the biggest things we've done, like in terms of like having like a big cult following, is like Magical Mystery Tour,
Yeah,
Sharknado 3 maybe. But then also there's Das Million Spiel, which is like kind of a precursor to this.
yes, very much so.
Um but yeah,
Oh,
outside of those, it's hard to really see anything that kind of really matches this in terms of like its cult status.
Well, Doctor Who the movie also, but
Oh, of course, yes.
that's for other reasons. That's got its own reasons for that. But yeah, I mean, I think this. With that all being said, I mean, this is not one that, especially stateside, is like super popular to the degree that it's like a Halloween staple. Like you probably mention this to your average person on the street, and they won't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
So I do recommend people out there listening, if it sounds interesting to you this far, and you want to go watch it because it's really good. It's an hour and a half. It'll get you in the mood for Halloween. It's a good time. It's one of the better movies that we've done to this point. I'd say probably in my top five. I haven't thought about it that much, but like just on a spectacle level, on a production level, it is doing things really well that other movies that we've done haven't even like approached. And not like, other movies have not done the fake hoax live broadcast thing, because obviously, but that's not the just like this movie is ambitious to a degree that a lot of what we've covered haven't really had that same level of ambition. This movie really uses the form of being a TV movie in a way that, like, outside of Dosh Million and Spiel, like you say, haven't really fully utilized the form in that same way.
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to even think how you do this again. I don't know how, because it's innovative, and obviously, if you stage this kind of thing again, people would be on their phones looking up like, oh, clearly there's press around this, or that actor's in this, or I don't know. I think we've become cynical and probably more wary of this kind of hoax, especially, I guess, as things get more and more blurred with technology. But when this came out, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how many channels there were on UK TV, but I think there were at least four. Actually, with cable, loads more. Um, but I think I don't know how many people watched it, but it made. I don't know if either of you have read about how big an impact this had when it comes to like complaints and
Yeah,
the
I saw
after
some of that. Yeah.
shocks. Yeah, which is kind of why it's never been shown on UK TV again. I think as like almost a sign of respect to some of the trauma that was caused mainly to younger children or impressionable people when it came out.
Yeah, there were a lot of complaints, a lot of people that said that they thought it was real. I think Wikipedia said there was one suicide that this movie not directly led to, but like was a factor in two cases of PTSD in children aged like 10. So yeah, this was a for other reasons. This was a big cultural thing. There was yeah, I again, I don't really have a conclusion to that sentence, but yeah. Uh, on a lighter note, though, let's talk about pipes. Let's talk about the ghost.
There's
On a
pipes in
lighter
the
note,
rocks, baby.
oh gosh, have you Googled the like makeup tests for pipes?
Yeah, I saw some of the clearer photos. There's
Yeah,
one on the Wikipedia page.
yeah,
I
it's
did
the one on
not look that
Wikipedia.
up.
Oh, have a look
Looking
on
it up
Wikipedia.
now.
It's pretty grim. Um, but that's kind of like Jaws. It's the magic trick of this where you don't ever really directly see pipes, the ghost demon that is possessing slash haunting this house. Is it on Foxley Grove? Is that what it's called?
I thought it was like Fox Lane or something like that, or I don't know.
Fox Hill Drive.
Fox Hill Drive.
That's it.
Yeah. How many times did the two of you spot him in
It
the background of scenes?
Question though, is it just him that is the ghost popping up, or was there another one? Because
I think it's just him.
okay, because I did see a few ghost sightings, but a few of them I thought was like especially there was one in the studio I saw when they're listening to the audio recording. I thought it was a completely different ghost. Like it didn't look like pipes.
That one
Mm.
I didn't notice. Um, Let me see if I can find that because I'm on one of the blogs, ghostwatchbtc.com, that has like screenshots of some shots where you can see him in the background. And it does have one of I imagine what you're talking about
Yeah,
because it's a
Dr.
close-up
Lin
shot.
Pascoe.
Yes. But the quality on this screenshot is not good enough
Yeah.
that I can see really any of what's going on there.
But
But
also, I'm looking at the big picture of pipes from the Wikipedia page, and that's just fucking Bob Mortimer. Like,
I mean, it's not,
With his eyes
but
scratched out,
with a
for
yeah,
sure.
with a big bloody eye and
he
nose.
he he probably has a hilarious and probable story about how that happened.
Yeah, he hanged himself and his cats ate him. Uh,
That would be a classic. Would I lie to you bit?
yeah. No, okay. So I spotted two other than the one that like they specifically highlight where he's against the curtains in
Mm.
the first footage. There's one I think it's when they go into the kitchen and there's the trail of papers and like the circle of crayons against the window and the cat shows up. And there's a shot where the camera pans around, pans up, or like I don't know, the camera moves and you can see a reflection in the background that's like very
Yeah.
clearly. And then there's another one that I noticed when they're all leaving the bedroom after Susie's been scratched, and they're all going downstairs, and the cameraman like looks back into the bedroom one last time, and he there's very quickly moves across. There's like a shape in front of the curtains again. That when he
Oh,
moves back, it's gone. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing more here in these screenshots. There's one in the glory hole behind the door. There's one in like some spliced footage. There's one
yeah.
I definitely didn't notice where they're outside, and the guy that you mentioned from Red Dwarf is interviewing like a whole row of people, and apparently he's there in the crowd in the background, which is spooky. But yeah, it's a very well utilized, very few but very effective splices of him into the movie back and forth.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and also, sorry, I feel like we can't pass by the glory hole without maybe
Yeah,
explaining that for what it
Yes.
is.
let's talk about the glory hole.
Who wants to go? Who wants to explain
Who
this?
wants to
You
go
brought it up.
first?
Who wants to go first at the
Okay.
glory hole?
Yeah. For anyone that hasn't seen this or hasn't seen it for a while, the cupboard in the haunted house is named the glory hole. Am I right here? Am I off?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like under the stairs. It like leads to the basement. It's like
It's all like boarded up and everything.
Yeah. And that just seems to be their name for it. So there's no actual
it.
yeah, not the typical, not
This
our
is a
modern day glory hole.
yeah, which is like I don't understand like because like glory hole as a term is like it's been used for like a long time and it's like for many different things and it's like I feel like the more sexual connotation is has been around for such a long time as well, but then it's also you get it used in like I'm a Titanic freak and so it's like I know that where the crew like their lodgings was also called the glory hole. Well, and it's
Oh,
like and now we have like this where it's like oh it's where the father used to like develop his pictures and stuff of it's like that's also a glory hole and it's just like what why when did this term stop being used for like non-sexual means or is it still being used for non-sexual things?
It is in glass blowing. That's where you put the glass to get it heated up. I did try to look up other meanings just by searching "glory hole basement." Um, well, I should have expected what I got looking at
and
that
now, yeah,
instead.
clear that browser history. Just
So
clear
that
that
yeah,
right away.
that didn't quite get me the results I was looking for, but whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, I
yeah,
think the fact that we mentioned all those little sightings, I think I saw the pipes in that kind of glitch where it's not really a glitch, is it? It's sort of like the footage kind of blurs and you see this scarred face at one point. Um, right? Did anyone else see that?
yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't see
I
that in the time, but it's here on the screenshots on this blog page that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I was when I saw that as one of the screenshots, I was just like, I'm shocked that they were able to do that without it being like too noticeable. Like I
Yeah,
mm,
think like looking at these screenshots, I definitely noticed like I mentioned, the one in the studio, the one Gordon mentioned in the glass when they like when the cat jump scare happens, and then when the glory hole opens and we see oh, and also in the bedroom I saw it.
yeah,
yeah. But it's so effective because it's obviously again a product of the time or a circumstance of the time is that people couldn't rewind it to check, and obviously there's
yeah,
the really obvious bit where they show the footage and you can most clearly see this kind of skull figure in the curtain, and then they rewind the footage on the show and he's not there anymore, and it's like you couldn't go back and check that he was definitely there to begin with if you were watching at the time. You were just like, oh, I must have imagined that because Parkinson's like, oh, false alarm, false alarm. And you're like,
especially
well,
because when Dr. Lin Pascoe is like given the light crayon or whatever they call it to
Mhm.
like outline it, she outlines like not the part of it that's very clearly the shape of a full body human. She's like, this part could be a face, and it's like the shoulder of what's clearly standing
Yeah.
there. So it's a little bit of a misdirect there of like, there's there's clearly something there that you are not, and like obviously you're not showing it that early on in your movie because then like you're giving up the ghost too quickly, no pun intended. But
Mhm.
yeah, I do think that was a little bit of a little bit of a not a mistake, but it did sort of take me out a bit of like, okay, why is this woman who is very clearly doing her best to see the supernatural and everything not seeing this very clear humanoid outline here?
Well, I think for one, like, first of all, it's like when she's drawing the light pen, the ghost had disappeared, and it is actually like reflection, like light on the curtain when she is drawing that. Like, the figure
Right.
isn't there. It's only when it's like dark that the figure is there, or like in the first time they watch it. But then, but also it's like you have to understand it's like when people are watching this, it is going to be like on a shittier TV, like in 1992. It's not going to
Yeah.
be the most high def. So it's like I feel like with certain things where it becomes more obvious for us, it's like there's an idea that it's like they knew this was going to get downgraded, so it's like something that's more obvious like in high definition is not going to be as obvious in standard definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking through this blog again to find, excuse me. A lot of these posts, the titles of them seem to just be like full lines of dialogue from the movie that then like lead into a related blog post. It's also a lot of just like, hey, we're doing this Ghostwatch themed event.
Mhm.
This national seance seems to be a yearly event that they do. Uh, Whatever this blog is. Uh,
I have something I want to touch on.
yeah, go
Hmm.
for it.
So Mike Smith, the guy who runs the phones, he has this ugly ass Donald Trump haircut, and it bothered me from the first second. I could not stand every time the cameras cut back to him. It's just like I hated looking at his hair, and he is definitely gonna be a Dennehy nominee for worst hair and makeup.
I think that's maybe just how the guy looked.
Yes, like it's probably just how he does his hair, but it still sucks, and I hate it.
I am sorry.
When are you giving out the Dennehy's?
Uh,
End of the year. It's
it's probably going to be our first episode of the new year, I'd imagine.
I yeah, like a bonus episode, not like in the full weekly schedule.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it'll probably actually I'll say it now. We'll release the episode on January 1st. And regardless of if that's a Tuesday, which it's not, uh every year when we do identities, it'll be on January 1st. There we go. I've said it. It's in the world.
Sure, I will take it. I'll run with that. Um, what else? What else to say about Ghostwatch?
Well, something I was going to ask is, did it remind you of anything, or when you've been reading about it, have you? Because I did mention the War of the Worlds with
Yeah,
the Orson Welles one from 1938 or something. It was pretty early on in
Mhm.
media. Or anyway, I don't know what I'm saying there, but yeah, it reminded me of a few other things. But I wondered what you both thought it might
yeah,
I I was thinking a lot about Late Night with the Devil because as I was watching this, it's like, oh, Late Night with the Devil just kind of beat for beat stole from this movie and made it kind of worse. Or it's just like because it's so obviously like Late Night with the Devil, for those who don't know, is a recently released like feature film, like not trying to be a hoax or anything, but is still trying to emulate that like this specifically it's being like a late 70s talk show like Johnny Carson type thing or Dick Cavett. And it's like but it does like oh on Halloween we're going to like investigate some like we're going to bring on some kooky guests who are all say that they're in tune with the spirit world or whatever, but then it's like the first couple ones are clear hoaxes, but then it's like things get creepier as they go on, and then it becomes a lot more over the top than this does, and it becomes it a lot earlier, and it's just like Late Night with the Devil is a pretty mediocre movie, and it's like it really very obviously wants to be this, but just can't.
yeah. I didn't see that one, but I believe you. That
yeah.
sounds about right from what I know of it. Uh, but and then like the other sort of obvious one to pull from is Blair Witch Project. A few years after this is very much in a similar sort of way doing this, but not as a live broadcast, but like as a real, a horror mockumentary presented as truth that still works even without the context of it being presented as true.
Hmm.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me of Blair Witch, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think I've seen it. Well, I've only seen it once, and I saw it ages ago. But I think obviously that and Ghostwatch have the similar phenomenon where they work so well when they first come out, but then when you rewatch with all the context, it's kind of like knowing the twist, but it's not even it's even greater than that because it's the entire kind of the enterprise, you know.
Hmm.
Um, Although I feel like this is more understandable that people believe this on broadcast than Blair Witch, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks. If just for the context of it, if just for the fact that it's familiar faces, it is, even though it's in a drama time slot, it's like it plausibly reads as uh, uh, like a holiday event. I don't know.
Yeah. Although the thing that always bugged me with like the story of Blair Witch Project, like and like how I released, like nobody knew it was real. It's like, why would they just take the footage of like these three kids who disappeared and just put it in theaters? It's just like, I feel like there'd be more tact with something like that. It wouldn't just be like if for people who were like wanted that to be real, it's just like why would they do that with like this real missing persons case?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
I feel like obviously it was a good marketing hook, I think, at the time that none of the people in Blair Witch like did press and they even like planted some stories that they were missing potentially. I
Hmm.
think that was how, and obviously that fed into it, and that film was so successful. But
Hmm.
with Ghostwatch, I guess, yeah, you wouldn't go in as sort of like cynically thinking, well, that could be a marketing ploy, or like, why would this be put into cinemas anyway? If yeah, three people went missing. But yeah, with Ghostwatch, I think it's the fact it's presented by Michael Parkinson. Really, I can't like emphasize enough like how I think that kind of sold it, because it's just like he was just a familiar face for decades on TV. He never acted. He wasn't known as an actor, and he's not really in a way acting because he is just playing himself. But he's doing it straight, and he's really sells the whole thing, I think.
Hmm.
yeah. Up until the end where he also gets possessed, and the ending I did find to be a little corny, where
Ah, okay.
there's wind blowing all over the studio and there's things flying all over the place, and it's like, oh, the poltergeist is like, now it's doing all, like, it's been lying dormant all this time and now it's big and there's wind and there's things flying and the camera is just sort of rolling across the ground and all this stuff, and now the lights are off and everyone's gone, and Michael Parkinson is wandering around the dark studio, and then he gets possessed too and he starts doing the voice, and it's a little bit of a, not an anticlimactic ending, but it's not the most satisfying that we don't, and not that I wanted closure on the story at the house, but like, that's more of where my interest lies. I'd rather it ended somewhere in there than like ending in the studio with, now he's the ghost and the ghost is in your house too and all that. Like, that felt a little bit too much for me, but like, still, it didn't take away from my enjoyment at the end. It was just not how I would have done it personally.
Hmm.
Oh, see, I quite like how it he doesn't like go full demon like possessed voice. He's kind of just ambling around, starts talking about teddy bears. And I think that's almost quite sinister how he's not like he's just kind of round and round the garden like a teddy bear. And he's just not looking into the camera and you're like, oh, okay. And I love that moment right towards the end where Michael Parkinson in the studio and the other presenter realize that the footage is just from earlier on, and
Yeah.
are not watching what's going on at the house, and they're like, "Hang on, this footage is from earlier. It's a trick." And then it like cuts. It somehow like goes to the things that's happening live, and it's just kind of like chaotic, and people are screaming, and yeah, and the bit with the wind machine is a little bit much. And oh no, we've accidentally conducted a séance. But you know, it's
Yeah.
fun.
I got
Yeah.
nothing else. I'm
You're
spent of
you're
my,
all out of notes?
I took very few notes over the course of this. And one of them was like, let's see, how many notes did I actually take? Four. Two of them
Oh,
are pipe sightings. One of them is the circle in the carpet, and one of them is just that there's so many mirrors around this house. I keep like looking in the background, looking like expecting to see the ghost, and he's never in
yeah.
any of the mirrors. But there's so many mirrors. There's the bathroom mirror. There's like two different floor to ceiling wall mirrors. There's a circle mirror in the living room that's like behind Sarah as she's standing on the table to go check the light fixture to see if anything's dripping from that. And there's just so many different mirrors that I was like, it's going to be so easy to do, and they do it in the reflection on the glass door in the kitchen, but
Yeah.
like there's no mirror reflections, so that felt a bit of a misdirect in a way that I found pleasing, that they didn't go the super easy route, even though I kept having my eye out for it.
Yeah, it's like like it wants you to like be constantly looking in the background trying to see if he's gonna pop up anywhere. Or because it's like you just know in the back of your mind he has to at some point. Right? And it's like it does a very good job. But yeah, I took a lot of notes. I think it's mainly because I had this like kind of split screen where I had the movie on one side and my notes on the other and could just like constantly write what I was thinking at the time. I mean, it's like early on, I just went in my mind. I was just like, why don't they just move out and sell their house? And then my mind like responded to myself. It's like sell their houses to who?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'm trying to find more notes. Uh, and yeah, I was really digging like like how well it sells like that this is just a normal uh Halloween broadcast. Like not just the fact that it's like these are all just regular presenters, but it's like the fact that it is just very mundane for like the first hour even. And it's like up until it's like when we get the first like scare that ends up being like we see I think it was Kim who was like doing like little knockings on the door trying to make something like get people scared it's or whatever.
Hmm.
And but yeah, it's just like you can see like why like the producers making this. It's like, oh yeah, let's just get something for Halloween. We'll go to like some spooky house. So it's like get put some crazy people on the TV, yada yada yada, easy time slot. But then it's like slowly but surely, it's like things get a little bit weird, and it's like you just don't know what to believe until it all goes off the rails. Uh, and while there were like a few pipe screenings, there were also um two sightings of Mickey Mouse that I saw. There's the Mickey Mouse watch that stopped, and then there's the Mickey Mouse pajamas that Suzanne's wearing. It's just like, hey, it's the fucking rat.
Do either of you have any real life ghost stories? Any encounters?
Oh
Any
no.
supernatural
Not at all.
experiences? Yeah, me neither.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
believe that shit.
No, I don't really either. I mean, yeah, because if there are ghosts, I mean, that's it's a shame that none of us believe in ghosts, but if there are ghosts, that has huge implications. Do you know what I mean? Like life after death, heaven, hell. I feel like people don't fully like explore that when they're talking about like, yeah, I think I saw a ghost. I'm like, okay, but if there's a ghost, we will live beyond the grave, right? Like we either go to heaven or we get trapped in this limbo as ghosts. I don't know the rules, but also yeah, that's kind of fun, that there's going to be something more, even if it's just like haunting people. I wouldn't be scared if they were, well, I guess they're usually ill-intentioned ghosts. But yeah, no personal experience, sadly.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wish I did. I wish that like even if it's just the littlest thing, I wish I had a story that I could tell of some unexplained experience of like maybe it's ghosts. You don't know because I don't believe really in ghosts, but like if there were ghosts, that'd be cool, right? Like
Hmm.
Yeah,
that'd
exactly.
that'd be pretty neat. Um, and if I am open to the possibility of having an experience that is in no other way explainable. Like I'm not someone that is going to immediately rush to find the most logical explanation. If I do experience or witness something that is like otherwise unexplainable, I don't know if that makes sense as a sentence, but it's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think when you so Ghostwatch is kind of based on the Enfield hauntings, I think they're called, where there's been similar cases in all over the world, but they're kind of what the Amityville horrors are also based on, like these kind of paranormal, supernatural sightings where they think people are being possessed. And none of them have been scientifically proven because that'd be a breakthrough. But they do often say, I think when I've looked at them, like, even if 30 people are reporting that there's chairs moving on their own and, potentially people levitating and that kind of thing, we do see what we want to see sometimes, or what we're pre-conditioned or expecting to see. So there's a lot to do with like human psychology that makes us potentially more susceptible to seeing paranormal things in the normal world, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just looked up the Enfield poltergeist and was just looking through it, and then it's just like, oh, this is a story that was made into a Conjuring movie, but then it's like the real and Lorraine Warren, their real visit was short. He tried to persuade Playfair that money could be made from the case by writing books and selling movie rights, and then they left.
that tracks. That
And
sounds
they
right.
were right. They were correct because that formed the basis of The Conjuring 2, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Uh,
Good movie? I haven't actually seen it.
no, like I've only seen the first two Conjuring movies, and or also the final Conjuring movie is out, and I hate everybody that goes to see it. Um, because I work at a movie theater for context.
Oh,
Uh,
right. Okay. That makes
it's
more sense.
it's they're such messy audiences for no reason. Like you get a theater of 10 people and it looks like 20 were there.
It's because they put the chicken jockey scene in, and there was no need.
God. Anyway, uh yeah, Conjuring. I People act like the Conjuring movies are like, or at least even the first one was just like a new, fresh horror movie that's like, oh, it's changing the scene, but it's like they're all fucking mid. It's just
I have
fucking
I
mid-ass
have
horror
not seen
movies.
any of them. I can't speak to any of this, but I also don't particularly care to see any of them.
Mhm.
So who knows?
Yeah, they're very effective. I've seen the first one. It's very effective, like in terms of like setting the scene, making it creepy, a little bit like Ghostwatch, where it's kind of presenting it as fact, which obviously you're more predisposed to say, well, no, of course this is a horror film, but it takes itself quite seriously. And yeah, I think it uses like creepy sounds and sudden sounds, and also like reflections, and looking for things in the background fairly effectively. But I think the stories, the plots, the performances are, yeah, probably mid.
Mhm.
What was that?
Uh-huh.
You guys hear that?
No, the Zoom audio silencer just makes it all the background noise disappear.
Damn it.
Oh yeah, we can't even hear that really.
God damn it. My bit didn't work. Anyway,
It's like you try, but you fucking fail, bitch.
I do appreciate that though, Gordon,
fuck
the
off. Oh my
attempt.
god.
You could
Okay,
add
now I
something
can
in
hear
post.
things.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
There.
Ghost. It's
It's
definitely a
Ghost.
ghost
it's Pipes. He's back.
in pod
Is
form.
that? Yeah.
Fuck off.
Uh,
Oh,
going
anything
back to
else?
Mike Smith, but
Yeah.
for more positive reasons. I really liked how the vibe changes when like things start to get weird over with Sarah, and it's like I'm pretty sure him and Mike and Sarah are like married or something,
Hmm.
and it's like
Yeah.
there was so much tension with him when he starts to realize, oh, something real's happening, and my wife's in danger.
Hmm.
But he
And
also still has to like stay put together for the broadcast and everything.
he has to stay in his fucking little phone corner and has to like hand over the calls and like introduce them and everything. And it's like he just cannot focus on that. Yeah.
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 And how it kind of goes from quite a jovial, light-hearted start where people are like messing around and doing funny little impressions. Craig Charles is there cracking jokes, and then that's kind of that eases you in. and you're like, oh well, this isn't a horror thing because it's kind of not presenting that scary things as the first thing. But then when that's taken away, that's scary. It's like seeing someone slowly losing their humor, I guess,
Hmm.
and ability to joke. And him, yeah, with that whole dynamic of him being in the studio, but then she's in the house and she's kind of like, okay, fine, oh, it's me going into the house again, but then eventually it's like, oh no, you're in the house of the demon, like, oh dear.
Hmm. And also on that note, it's like when the cameras like all like go off in the house, and then it cuts over to Craig, who like has no idea what's going on. He's still acting like himself. And it's like, bro, people might be dead in that house, and you have no idea. You're just you don't know what we just saw.
Mm,
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, good
Yeah, like
bit.
when it ramps up, it really ramps up, and it's why this thing is so great and so well remembered.
Yeah, it's a great slow burn. It really lures you in with a false sense of security in a number of ways. Even like watching it as a fictional piece and knowing it as a piece of fiction from the get go, it still does very slowly mete out those horrific moments until it all explodes, and it gives you sort of some false negatives of oh, it was Susie banging on the pipes, and maybe this was all a hoax after all. And so it really does let you let your guard down for when all of a sudden, no, it really is all sorts of fucked up.
Hmm.
yeah.
And then it does it again at the end when people are getting let out of the house, and you think that like that's the end of it, but no, there's still Sarah and Susie and the camera guy are all still in there, and
Yeah.
maybe all still in there
To this
forever.
day,
Who knows? Who knows?
like even though this is fictional, it's like actually she's still in there. Sarah's still in the house.
Yeah,
Oops.
she's committed to the character.
Oh, something that I read also, this reminded me. So something that's so good is like the callers that come in and give little bits of lore that like piece together who Pipes is. Like he's,
Yeah,
potentially a child molester who killed himself. And is there a woman mentioned as well? Am I
yeah.
imagining
There's
this?
the baby farmer, the like nanny or whatever, who
Yeah.
also lived around there and drowned children.
Yeah, so like really dark stuff, but then it's kind of like it's coming from outside sources, as in like callers, and callers are usually known to be have a little less decorum than the presenters. So you kind of take it as like, oh, this is a good way to get this information without Parkinson, say, relaying this information. And I
Yeah,
think he does say like, oh, that guy who calls in from Wales, and he's like, I my cheese and pickle sandwich flew across the room. And he's like, yes, people are opening the home brew about now or whatever, like, so he's
yeah,
kind of discrediting some of the callers, but then the law pieces together. And yeah, it's really good way to build the tension. And it is really dark, like when the things they're saying. So I think it's pretty edgy, like it's quite risque, this TV show, or as a TV movie. And I think, I don't know if you read this, but they were pretty close to not airing it, I think, on
that
worries
sounds
that
right. Yeah,
it would be taken too seriously. But then they thought, well, having the title card at the start and like the written by credit would show people that it was fiction. But they knew people would tune in later and not see that. Of course they did, because not everyone starts a program at the start, especially back in those days. So yeah, very clever filmmaking, TV making.
Hmm.
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh,
Do we have
another.
anything?
And
Oh,
Sorry, I just suddenly remembered. Like you had asked us earlier, like things this reminded me of, and I just suddenly had a vision to fucking Deadline, the special episode of Inside Number Nine, and it's like that. Of course, is also playing on like it's definitely inspired by Ghostwatch, of course, because it's a British TV show with is inspired by all kinds of British legends and things. I don't know why I stopped us all to bring that up,
no,
but
no, I think that's a
something.
good. I don't know that one, but it will definitely, yeah, and it broadcast around Halloween.
Yeah. And and again, it's like that one was meant to be like, oh, this is a live episode of Inside Number Nine, but then it's things start going wrong because it turns out there's actually a ghost. It was also broadcast live on Halloween, and it's like, yeah, and it was a big thing where it was like people like it. Of course, like people know to expect the unexpected with Inside Number Nine. It's like there's always going to be a twist. So it's like, while some people probably gathered oh, this is all part of the bit. It's like you also like I know some people were like, where does the bit end and when does it begin again? And it's just like um and also that one was actually broadcast live. Like the whole thing was done live, I'm pretty sure. While this was
Oh.
pre-recorded and just pretended to be live. I think that
Mm.
was actually like performed live. Because I
Mm.
think there's like one point when like they're reading tweets like in like the green room like after things start going wrong they're just like, oh, we're fucking off. It's like they're reading actual tweets that people are tweeting while watching the program.
Oh, okay. I need to check that out because that does sound really good. Do you know what this also reminded me of, which is more just like the Conjuring side of things, is The Deliverance. Did you ever see The Deliverance?
I did not. The
I
the Netflix, the
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yes, you
Is it?
do.
Do I?
It
From like last year,
the director is Lee Daniels, right?
the
Oh, the Glenn Close thing. She
yeah,
has
Yeah.
the
Andrew
crooked
Day,
teeth.
Monique. Yeah.
I do know what that is. The
It's such
title's
a
too
hoot.
generic, but
It is. It should be called Lee Daniels, The Deliverance. That would be more.
exactly. Like
Yeah. It's right there. But yeah, that Glenn Close in that is wild. I'm like, are you allowed to do this? But I mean, hey, Lee Daniels trusted her, she trusted him. Oh, yeah. It's I think I watched it when it had Oscar buzz, which must have been real early.
Ri-
Yeah.
like right as it came out, probably.
Question.
Actually,
In what way did Ghostwatch remind you of that?
well, because that well, the Deliverance is about like an Enfield what were we calling it? What's when people get
Amityville,
possessed?
or
Um
Poltergeist
Poltergeist. Yeah,
possession thing? Yeah.
the Deliverance is about poltergeists.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't watch it.
Sorry, that's
But
maybe a spoiler, but
oh,
I
yeah,
don't care.
it is inspired by a real thing, the Ammons haunting case,
Sure.
yeah,
it, in Gary, Indiana, in 2011.
Well, hey, there you go.
there you go. That's why. If you want a really spooky time, if you really want to be scared, watch Lee Daniels' The Deliverance on Netflix.
I may have to do that in that case.
I remember when you Gore and we were getting so excited, like, oh my God, wait, what could we do this on the podcast? But then we realized it had a theatrical screening, and it's like, oh no, this is
Yeah.
one of the real Netflix movies, not the fake Netflix movies.
Yeah, it fully came out, sadly. Well, not
Mhm.
fully, but slightly.
It it
To some degree.
it was screened in theaters before its Netflix premiere, or maybe even the same day as its Netflix premiere, and therefore it is not eligible for this podcast.
Mm. Oh,
Uh,
well. Any
And
any other thoughts on Ghostwatch?
yeah, I don't think I have. I mean, clearly, I took very few notes. I was just sort of vibing with this one. But yeah, I don't have anything else specifically I wanted to mention. I don't think.
I think I'm out of my stuff. Like nothing else here. Although I do want to shout out I I never know how to pronounce Gillian or Gillian Bevan Bevan. Um but her performance as Dr. Lin Pascoe I really love. And
Yeah,
especially since she's in this really strange position where it's like she isn't one of the regular presenters, but she is still has to pretend to be one amongst this like crew that knows each other, and it's like I and again, she is like an outsider. She's just being interviewed for this. It's like pretending to be this like paranormal investigator who writes this book about this case and knows all about it. And then like later on, she like as things start going wrong, she starts realizing she doesn't really know what's in that house when she thought she did. And it's like Like I think she has such a tougher role than anybody else here, but she pulls it off really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm spent. Good
Uh,
movie. Go watch it.
Great movie. Yeah.
Enhance your Halloween season with a very good, very spooky little movie.
is that where we're ending it?
I don't know. I don't have a natural ending.
Sure.